Good evening to all our viewers. You're watching All in the Game. It's time to get you that lowdown from the sports world. It's still the Commonwealth Games that making our headlines, but it's A.R. Rahman that's got all the attention really. So let's take a look at those headlines. Well, moving to sports news that's coming from good old Chennai, of course. Well, if you're a Jeep enthusiast, this could be interesting to you for sure. The Pala Challenge for Jeepers drew 66 participants and more from different parts of India and Sri Lanka. The Jeepers say it is not for sissies. Find out what they mean.
It is the 5th edition of the Pala Challenge, where Jeepers are presented 16 challenges to tackle on difficult terrains, riverbeds, slush, marsh and rocky ground. Practically impossible to conquer, but some Jeepers successfully managed with a few.
Journey has been toughest, and every year we learn a lot of new things. No matter how much we plan, how much we prepare, still every terrain, every time the sand pulls us down and we have to prove our machines. And missions break down, and still it's a purely a mind and team game.
The Jeepers believe strength and confidence comes from passion for Jeep rides, and there's no place for fear.
Very dangerous and all, but it's more challenging. See, speed, you can drive on roads maximum speed, but this is not speed, it is power.
The passion of Jeeps is sporadic because of the cost involved in building and maintaining Jeeps. Organizers of the Pala Challenge say automobile majors should come forward and support this sport.
None of the vehicles that you've seen today over here, out of the 33 vehicles, none of them are stock vehicles. Every one has been modified. So what happens is the big companies, automobile manufacturers, they cannot participate because their vehicles do not meet the specifications. They cannot do what these vehicles are doing. So it's sort of, they are not interested in coming up.
Real Jeeps are built and not bought. Each Jeep is unique and assembled carefully to suit the Jeepers' requirements. Participants say after Pala, Himalayas is their next target, which they call the Mecca of Off-Road Challenge. In Chennai with Sudarshan, Minal Shah, NDTV Hindu.
And to talk to us more about the Pala Challenge and all the difficulties that each and every one of those off-roaders went through, Amit Tomar joins us in the studio, who's a Jeep enthusiast and of course a 4x4 off-roading competitor. Thank you very much, Amit, for joining us today here in the studio.
Good evening, Natasha.
Now tell us what off-roader really has to endure during a challenge such as the Pala Challenge that happened very recently here over the weekend.
Physically, the driver and the co-driver has to be in the perfect health, and that's number one. Second is the vehicle should be as healthy as the driver and the co-drivers. You have to check on so many things, make sure the vehicles are 100% pakka. There cannot be even a single negligence on the part of the vehicle. Even we prepare a vehicle so good for it. I would have been preparing my vehicle for the last 3 months, but still I had a lot of problems.
But it's not necessarily the fitness of the car itself, it's also about the driver.
Yes, it is about the driver's skill. It is the power of the vehicle and the brain of the driver.
Okay, is it just the brain of the driver? Because when I did visit, of course, the Pala Challenge, you have to go through quite a bit of a turmoil really under the heat of the sun, open sort of barren land really. So what about the driver and what he has to go through, and what the kind of fitness that the driver has to
see? You should be able to take care of yourself in the heat. You should take care of your ORS drinks. You have to make sure you don't get into a lot of excursion where your energy is wasted on just roaming around here and there. You have to concentrate on the terrain.
All right. Now, tell us how you actually have to prepare for your vehicles. How long do you have to prepare your vehicles for before you enter into such a challenge?
Okay. See, vehicle part of it, you have to make sure your vehicles, from the tire to the engine to the transmission, your body of the vehicle, your small things like belt, air filter, all these things has to be in the perfect shape. Preferably change everything before you come to the parlor, and after that anyway, once you come out of the parlor, you have to change everything again.
You have to change everything again.
Yes, definitely.
There are huge risks of your propeller shafts being absolutely shattered, your chassis going all over the place, really.
You have seen
so
everything.
I've seen it firsthand, yeah, absolutely. But
Yes.
how much do you have to be prepared to sort of throw away your money, really, you know, when you enter such a challenge? Because obviously you have to take risks if you want to win.
See, risk is there, plus it's more of interest, and like it is. See, apart from the risk, it's like you have to like doing it. Once you like doing it, it's not a problem. You have to know your vehicle. You should be ready to get down the engine or get under the vehicle to repair your own vehicles. You should know the vehicle. You should know a little bit of mechanism, if not too much.
Okay, what about knowing the terrain? You know, most of you were absolutely, you know, clueless about, you know, what the terrain was all about. How do you find your way through all of that?
This is what is Pala Challenge.
That's what it's all about,
Yeah,
is
see,
it?
I have been to that place at least 4 times before, but what I have seen in last 2 days was totally different.
Okay.
I had not done all these things in last 3-4 recce's which I have gone, and this was a totally different thing.
Okay.
It was tough.
Extremely tough.
Extremely tough.
So would you say that off-roading is definitely a man's sport?
Yes, it's a man thing.
Oh, it's definitely a man thing. You've never come across a single woman who would probably participate?
I have not seen in Chennai.
Not in Chennai, alright, okay. Other than that, of course, now your navigational skills while you're going through such an off-roading event is very, very important, am I right?
Very much.
What about your team coordination? Now, if one person sort of falls out, then you lose out on points. Tell us about the point system.
See, basically it is, the whole thing is, the team is of 3 jeeps. Each jeep will have 2 people, driver and a navigator. And see, why you ask me navigator is very, very important is because see, when a driver is driving the vehicle, he will not be in a position to take turns or find a path where it is required. But navigator who is sitting with him will have, or he should get down of the vehicle and spot it out. Boss, you have to take this left, you have to take this right. Come straight, take a left, take a right, go at this speed. You have to throttle here, you have to pedal it here. All these things has to be told by the navigator.
Okay.
And now come to the team part of it. Yes, definitely this is a team event, and once you have seen the vehicles get broke down, the vehicles get heated up, the vehicles break down also. So at that point of time, the team effort is what makes it a different. If one vehicle is stuck, the other team members will pull you out.
Okay.
They will winch you out or they will pull you out. And if the vehicle is really not in a position to move, fine, we'll have to find our way to the nearest place. Like I had to go to Chengalpet both the days to get one of my pulley got broken, so I had to go on both the days to get that pulley repaired. First day also the same pulley broke, second day also the same pulley broke.
Okay, so a lot of sort of barriers that you have to cross definitely with such a challenge. Now to focus on the vehicles themselves, other than of course maintenance and stuff like that, what are the costs that really go into to sort of modify a vehicle on a standard level?
Okay, fine. See, jeeps, I would say jeeps are to be built. You can't buy it, especially for off-roading events. And an average cost, a jeeper would spend around 2 to 2.5 lakhs.
Wow, that's quite a bit of money.
I mean, you have to make your vehicle to that standard.
Okay.
For example, at each tire would cost nothing less than 4 to 5 grand.
Okay.
The set of tires would cost you nothing less than 20-25 grand.
Okay. Now, when we were participating in the Pala challenge, of course, now who do you think was the most powerful really as a team, worked together as a team? Would it be the Karnataka men, or do you think the men from Sri Lanka or from good old Chennai?
Definitely good old Chennai.
Good old Chennai.
Yes.
We were on top.
We were
at
on
the
top.
end of it?
We were on top. Vikram and Dr. Jones, that team won the title as such. But definitely the second was the team from Karnataka. They were one Gypsy and one MM550 in that.
How did you manage to bring an entire team of 6 members, as last I remember, all the way from Sri Lanka? I mean, that would have obviously put us a setback when we had to provide Chennai, obviously the Pala Challenge organizers themselves had to provide vehicles to them.
They have been a part of Pala Challenge for last at least 3 years. And jeepers from Chennai also gone to Sri Lanka for any Sri Lankan challenges as such. So it's a mutual thing. So when jeepers from Chennai had gone there, they had provided us the vehicles and all. Here we made sure we provide them the vehicle. See, that's a spirit. See, they are at least taking that much pain to come from another country to our place just for the event.
Okay, so what are you going to be looking forward to now here after the Pala Challenge? Is there any particular schedule that everybody keeps all across the country?
See, okay, Pala Challenge is every year between 13th to 15th. It is almost every year it is there. So now we have to wait for the next challenge in Chennai, which is going to be Pala Challenge. That's apart from that, we have to get our vehicles ready so that next year at least we've been some award income.
All right. What is the difference between India and the off-roading situation in India and various other popular parts of the world?
Still we are I would say
behind?
we are very much lagging behind. We don't have that kind of vehicles. And if you look at Sri Lanka and all, people, each vehicle would be nothing than 8.5. All those Land Rovers, Toyota Land Cruisers, those are the vehicles with 4,000, 4,500 cc engines and some 200, 220 brake horsepower and all. Those are all extreme machines and extreme off-roading.
Okay, so what are the vehicles that we use here in Chennai?
Normally in Chennai and in India, it's like more of gypsies, MM540s, MM550s, Mahindra Classics, Mahindra Willys. You have, I have a Mahindra CJ500.
Speaking of your own vehicles, I know you to be a person who absolutely is in love with your vehicle. So tell us a little bit about your own mean machines, shall we say?
Okay, fine. I have a CJ500D. It's a long, little longer chassis than the Willys, but I have very good tires, sand tires on it. My engine is a Peugeot with a DI head, so it gives you an extra torque. My transmission, it's a 4x4 transmission. It's a lighter weight, but still I couldn't win the Pala Challenge, or I couldn't win even a single award.
Your girl really wasn't sort of giving you her best. Is that the problem that was happening there?
Maybe I need to practice more. I mean, this was my first event.
Okay, that is quite an admittance. Really.
Yes. This was my first event, so I myself didn't know it's going to be like this.
So any amount of practicing that you have on a terrain, if you're on sort of a new terrain, it's a whole different ball game.
It's a whole different ball game. But I would say Pala is okay. Two things I would like to talk about it. One is the competitiveness, and second is the toughness. Competitiveness is because this is the event where it's a team event, and the points have been given, and this is the only event in our country which has to be won. Other events are just like rallies or just participation. This is the only event in which you have to come in your team and you have to win it. You have to compete
it out
with
from beginning to end.
Yes, you have seen how it is.
Absolutely.
And the second thing what I was talking about, the terrain. It is a tough terrain. We are on a sand, we are on water, we are on slush. Half of the energy of the vehicle goes only on moving the vehicle on that terrain.
All right, Amit, thank you so much for joining us today and telling us all about off-roading. It is a rare sport that any of us have ever focused on here in Chennai or across India. So it is quite interesting really that we've seen it here happen over the weekend, and let's hope the next Pala Challenge is just as successful. Thank you again for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
Well, as Amit said, it is definitely a tough sport. Off-roading definitely sort of sucks out the energy from you, and it's about sticking it out right from the beginning to the very end. Well, that's all we have for you from the sports world here on NDTV Hindu and on All in the Game. Thanks for watching, and do stay tuned for more news updates with my colleague Ramanathan.